Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just a little disclaimer that I am not a hairstylist and these are just some methods and techniques I have learned through my own experience. So first, of course, you're going to prepare your hair by brushing through it. Then you're going to take a fine tooth comb and create your part. You can do a middle part or a side part, whatever you like the most. I'm using a Diane heat resistant pintail comb and you can find these at almost any store. With the edge of the comb, I am going to be fixing any imperfections so I get it as straight as possible. And then I'm going in with my TRESemmé Extra Firm Control Mousse. I'm going to do this in 2 layers. So the first layer I apply over my hair, just on the very top. And then I am definitely going to take a little bit more, or a lot more, and I'm going to put this through my hair with my fingers on the sides, on the top, and also underneath my hair to get it all coated. Next, I'm just going to comb through the hair using my fine tooth comb, and you don't have to make this perfect. You do want to try to make it smooth just because it is easier to work with a smooth base, but we are going to be going over it multiple times, so it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to get it into the first ponytail. Now you're going to create the first ponytail. Method 1 to do this is using a straight pin hooked onto rubber bands. And how to do this is just to insert the straight pin into the base of collected hair and then tightly pull and wrap the rubber bands around the base, basically until you run out of rubber bands. The pros of this is that it is easy to remove when needed because we do have to make multiple ponytails, but the cons is that I find it really hard to do on yourself. Once you finish wrapping the bands around the base, you're going to hook them onto the other end of the straight pin and it should be sticking out, so that just holds them in place. Method 2 is to use rubber bands only. I always like to use multiple rubber bands, and you're just going to use the rubber bands the same as you would a normal hair tie. So of course, the pros is that it is very easy to do on yourself, but the cons that it is difficult to take out, / you're going to have to cut the bands out when you make the next ponytail. You do want to make sure that it is super tight. That's the most important thing. Next, I'm going to take some gel. This is a TRESemmé Mega Firm Control Hair Gel Level 5. You can get this at Walgreens or any drugstore, and I'm going to apply a generous layer of gel all over the whole scalp. And I'm really going to focus on pushing that into the lower layers of hair. You're going to have to get on the sides as well as underneath the ponytail because flyaways can get stuck there and they're really hard to see when you're doing it on yourself. A pro tip here is to pay attention to apply gel around the edges of your face, right around the scalp, and make sure to get all those baby hairs. Now I'm taking a teasing brush to smooth over the hair. This is just the first step of smoothing that we're going to do, and this comb is by the brand Amped Up. And I'm just focusing on smoothing the right side of my hair because we are going to do it in sections. So as you can see, just keep repeating, going back and forth to smooth it over, and now I'm going to check for any imperfections in my mirror. Obviously, if I see something, I am going to fix it, and once I'm happy, I'm going to hold all the imperfections at the base, and I'm going to blow dry that specific section of hair to lock in the smooth texture. This is basically what we're going to be doing throughout the whole video, and now I'm going to repeat all the same steps on the middle section of my hair. So, first step is to smooth it out. Second step is to check. The third step is to smooth again, whatever you don't like. And the fourth step is to blow dry while holding the imperfections towards the ponytail. And at this point, you're just going to keep blow drying until that section has hardened a little bit and can hold its own shape. Now repeat all the same steps again on the left section of your hair. Now it is time to remove the first ponytail, and if you use method 1, you're just going to take out the straight pin, and if you use method 2, you're going to have to cut the rubber bands at this point. Now taking my teasing comb, I'm just going to gently comb out the imperfections that we have pushed towards the base, and the pro tip here is to keep super strong hands while holding the base to decrease the chance of making further imperfections. You want to keep it as still as possible. Now you're going to create ponytail number 2. In this situation, I just used a normal hair tie, but you can also use the straight pin rubber band method as well. You just want to make sure if you're using a hair tie that it is very strong and the ponytail is tight. Alright, and what you can see, this is what we have so far, so we are getting there. Now it is time for hairspray, and I am going to apply a very generous amount of hairspray to the right section of my hair. We're going to work in the same 3 sections, right, middle, and left with the hairspray. I'm using my TRESemmé Extra Firm Control Hairspray, and this is their level 4. And before I go in with a comb, I'm just going to use my hands to push the hairspray towards my scalp, really getting it in those layers of hair. Next, I'm using this comb, which even the brand that I bought it from a few years ago, I could not find it anywhere on the internet, Amazon, Google, Pinterest. This comb does not exist. But with the help of my friends, I did find this if you are in Eastern Europe or in Russia by this retailer and at this website, danceplus.ru. And if you're in America/UK, Goody has this comb, which is the most similar I could find, and you can buy on Amazon. You will not be able to find it anywhere in stores, so both of them are linked in the description down below if you're interested. Now the reason I make such a big fuss about this comb is because there are soft bristles on the same side as hard bristles. So using the dual end of the comb, you're just going to smooth over the section of hair that you just sprayed, repeating all the same steps as we usually do. So smooth it over. You're going to add a light layer of hairspray while holding the imperfections towards the ponytail, and then you're going to smooth over with your hand and blow dry until that shape hardens a little bit and it can hold its own shape. You're going to repeat all the same steps on the middle section of your hair, starting with the hairspray. So now I am going to give you a close-up, and we have another pro tip here, and that is to be utilizing the dual end of the comb for the smoothest finish. So in the close-up, I hope you can see that the comb is really grabbing and smoothing the hair, and how it does this is that the fine-tooth side of the comb should be grabbing the top layer of hair, while the bristles of the teasing side of the comb brush against the top layer of hair, revealing a sleek finish. And that's how you get it super smooth. Then of course we're going in with more hairspray on top and smoothing it over with our hand and adding the hair dryer to lock in that shape. Check for any imperfections, and you're going to do all the same steps on the left side. Now once all of that is finished on all 3 sides, you're going to remove the ponytail however you see fit, and now you can use any comb to gently brush out the imperfections that are sitting around the base. And you want to remember to try to keep as strong hands as possible while holding a loose ponytail. Now I'm going to use 2 rubber bands, and I'm going to double their strength by crossing them over and creating a 4 small loop hairband. And I'm going to put this in as I would a normal hair tie. This is going to be my final ponytail, so you really want to make sure it's as tight as possible. During this step, you can as well use the straight pin rubber band method that I showed in the beginning. Now I'm going to take more hairspray, and this is going to be the final layer for a sleek finish. And I'm going to use a lot of hairspray. Now using only your hands, this is very important. You're going to smooth everything over while gently pushing the hairspray towards your scalp. The pro tip here is to press down using the palms of your hands instead of your fingers, because they will create little micro lines in the hair that you've already created. Make sure to add even more hairspray right at the base so it's as flat as possible surrounding the ponytail. Don't forget underneath and on the sides as well. Now the ponytail is complete, and you have 2 options from here. The first option is you can continue to create your own hairstyle, or you can polish it off and create the perfect Latin ponytail by wrapping the base, which is what I show you in this video. So to do that, first thing you're going to do is take a small section from the side of your ponytail, making sure it's not too thick. I'm going to just take a normal hair tie to section off the rest of the ponytail, making it much easier to maneuver when we are wrapping the base. Now I'm going to apply my first layer of gel, and this is the Got2b spiking glue. When I say glue, it is truly glue. It is super sticky and thick, and it actually acts like glue for your hair. In my opinion, this is actually way too sticky to use on its own, so now I'm just going to comb out the excess gel and start to mix it with my second layer of gel. I'm using the TRESemmé gel in this situation because it is a water-based consistency, which will allow it to shape with much more flexibility. And I feel like these two gels together work really well. Now, if you try to wrap upwards first, I wanted to show you that it will create a pucker, and even if you try to continue wrapping and pulling it really tight, it's still going to create an uneven appearance around the base. So instead of going above, I wanted to show you that I find it way easier if you just go underneath. And by the time that you start wrapping it right over those rubber bands, it's going to help the hair lay much more flat when wrapping it over the top and underneath. So in my opinion, it just works much better to go underneath first rather than over the top. Now check for imperfections and continue to wrap the hair until you run out of hair. The pro tip here is keep smoothing out the hair with your fingers between each wrap, making sure it doesn't split apart. So as you can see, it split apart a little bit there, but I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers so by the time I'm wrapping it, it is laying perfectly flat against the rest of the hair. Once you've gotten to the end of the hair, because we use that got to be glued, you're just going to gently press down the ends of the hair and it should be able to stick to the layers underneath pretty easily. Switch between blow drying and hairspraying the wrap section to make sure it stays all day. Hairspray and then blow dry and then hairspray and blow dry again. Now, the very last step is optional, and this is to flat iron or straighten your hair. If you have really curly or wavy hair, I would suggest doing this on the comp. My hair is already pretty straight, but I just wanted to show it for the sake of this video to make sure that I'm flattening out the very ends of my hair to make sure it is as smooth and sleek as possible. If you have frizzy hair, you can take just a little bit of hairspray and comb through the top layer to make sure it is laying nice and flat. And there you have it. This is the final look with a very smooth and sleek appearance. The strength lasts all day at a competition and no hairpins are necessary for this hairstyle. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something. You can follow me on my socials at RickieT.Beauty and check out my Instagram because I post lots of content there that I don't always post on YouTube. Please let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.